Okay, welcome everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today. We're excited to have you here, and we hope you're going to leave with some really good ideas on how technology can help you move your organization's mission forward. To make the most of our time together, we encourage you to use the Q&A icon at the top of your screen to ask any questions that you might have. I'll be monitoring those throughout the session, and I'll make sure to share your questions with our presenters during the Q&A period at the end. If by chance we don't have time to get to your question, or if you think of one later, there will be contact information included at the last slide of the PowerPoint. And this webinar is being recorded. So within about a week, you'll receive an email that has a link to the recording and the slides. And there will also be contact information if you have follow-up questions. So today we have a really great group of experts here with us to share their insights and experience. Jeff Griffin, account manager at ADP, has been consulting on human capital management technology for over 20 years and has had a focus on how businesses can operate efficiently while focusing on their core missions. We also have Neil Pike, a senior Sage Intacct consultant at Dorton, who's been working with not-for-profits for over 30 years as both an accountant and a CFO. For the past 6 years, he's dedicated his time to helping nonprofits implement accounting solutions that support their organization. And finally, we have Denise Yolito, Principal Solutions Consultant with ADP. Denise works with clients in a variety of different industries, including not-for-profits, to help them maximize the value of their technology investments. She focuses specifically on Sage Intacct Payroll powered by ADP, which provides organizations a full picture of their HR, payroll, and finance operations. So that is all of the housekeeping stuff, and we will let Neil take it away, talking a little bit about digital transformation for nonprofits.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hope you're doing well and having a great Wednesday. No, actually Thursday. So we're one day closer to Friday. So we'll start with a slide here on Dean Dorton, Allen Ford. Many of you may or may not be aware, but we are a full-service accounting firm that with 550 plus team members. We offer expertise in audit, tax, risk management, business consulting, IT innovation, compliance, and cybersecurity. I work in the business consulting area, helping not-for-profits with implementing accounting software and Sage Intacct to be specific, and helping them with having the best possible product and experience. Our clients are wide-ranging. We have privately held businesses and related individuals, public companies, and my expertise and my favorite, not-for-profit and governmental entities. We are regional with offices in Indiana, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Ohio. But we also have a geographic reach throughout the United States and internationally, believe it or not, including Japan, Brazil, Canada, China, and throughout Europe and Australia. So as you can see, we're a very large, broad-based firm that offers a lot of services with a lot of expertise that covers just about anything you would need in the IT and business side of your organization. So today we're going to talk about technology to meet challenges head on, and how that can help you. How we can let technology assist us, if you will. A lot of times we still do things the old manual way, and we'll touch base on that in a minute. But we're going to hopefully help you and guide you through the process of automating your processes. So if we look at the slide here, the biggest not-for-profit challenges today externally, economic uncertainty. is definitely one of them. Along with inflation, we're not sure of what funding we're going to have coming up. I know that a lot of organizations are transitioning from the COVID era of funding, extra funding, and things like that, and that can create complications. Staff shortages. A lot of organizations and a lot of companies in general right now are finding it very difficult to find the right people to fit in their organization, both culturally and the adeptness, the professionalism, and the knowledge needed to perform the duties needed. And then throw on top of that, we have increased demand for services. Given the economic uncertainty, many not-for-profits, community not-for-profits especially, have more demand for services. More people are needing their assistance. So seem to be, based on a survey, seem to be are the biggest challenges right now. And I'm sure all of you could add your own challenges that are specific to your organization. If we look at the role of a finance leader, we, based on some surveys, is such that 59% of the role is for document transparency and accountability. 45% is track and measure program results, and 31% is chart growth, is to chart growth in the organization. 25% is to track and measure mission impact metrics. One thing I would add to this, and I think would encapsulate the entire concept, and that is becoming more important based on the economic challenges of today, is being strategic. How do we turn around and get the information we need so that we can look at where we need to be and where we can be tomorrow, next week, next quarter, next month, next year, 5 years from now. And so, and again, how can we pull that information together and be more strategic, analytical, and be prepared as best we can? So having said that, as you see here, the bottom line says your finance team is crucial to success. Absolutely. Having the right team in place and with the right expertise and the right fit is crucial to not only the finance department, but the organization as a whole. Biggest nonprofit challenges internally: lack of process automation and efficiency. And I think if we partner that with what I just mentioned in the previous slide about needing information to be strategic, or to analyze as such, it is part of this lack of process automation and efficiency. Manual reporting. How much of the work are you doing on spreadsheets, or even going a little back and adding machine? I personally go back to the days of the big ledger paper with the adding machine tape attached to it, or things like that, or the big computer paper. But disconnected systems is another area where you've got all these different softwares that you have to manually reconcile them back to your accounting system. Lack of data visibility. If you're disconnected to your systems, you don't have a visibility of the connection without it being manual or without comparing pieces of the paper. And then you add on top of that the budget and planning challenges and the cost challenges. By having all these different softwares, it's the personnel cost, it's possibly the cost of the different softwares that add to the challenge internally of getting the job done. This is something, it's when I work with not-for-profits and I implement Intacct, one of my favorite things, and a lot of times I'll get a chuckle out of it, but I think we can all admit there's some truth to it. Our spreadsheets, your technology teddy bear. I think as accountants, we hang on to our spreadsheets. We depend on them. We use them for everything from verifying data, comparing data, uh, budgets. A lot of budgets are held in spreadsheets or fixed assets. So a lot of data we hang on to spreadsheets and we depend on them day to day, and we don't want to let them go because we feel and think that we by having that spreadsheet that we can verify. That's our security or our teddy bear. So, but I will tell you that it's okay to let them go. It truly is. It's okay to have, excuse me, have your softwares do the work for you. And so, what do you need to let go of that teddy bear? Those Excel spreadsheets, automated financial reporting. What does that mean? Automated financial reporting in concert with integrated systems means that you're able to move data between your softwares, for example, ADP, your payroll, to your general ledger, your if you're a school, your tuition, which is usually in a third party, or housing software, rental rates and income over, many different softwares we use as our subledgers, if you will, and things like that. And by integrating those systems, we can automatically pull in the data from those independent systems into Sage Intacct, our accounting software, and let the software do the work for us. So to get rid of those spreadsheets, to get rid of that teddy bear, by integrating our systems, it allows us to have automated financial reporting because the data is moving freely and independently of us, if you will. That saves time, money, and effort. Better fund accounting. You'll by integrating your systems, you're going to have better fund accounting. You're going to have better accounting processes because you're letting the software do the work for you. And that, I think, is just as much part of the teddy bear, if you will, as your spreadsheet, is letting your software do the work for you and using the software for what it will give you, using all of its attributes that you need to get your work done and get it done as streamlined as possible. Automated outcome metrics. You need this for your analytical, your strategic planning, your forecasting. This is what, by having all this data coming into your accounting software Intacct, it gives you the time and effort to do that analysis that you're having to push aside because you're busy reconciling or preparing journal entries or information to pull it into your Intacct software. Automated purchase and spend controls. That goes along with your budgeting. We can turn around and by streamlining and integrating your softwares, it's saving you time and it's completing the purchase, especially with purchasing, for example, it's completing your purchasing process in a more streamlined manner. And entity consolidation. It allows you to consolidate your financials much easier because by integrating your external softwares, you're pulling the information in. And digital transformation enables you to be a good steward of donor dollars and funds. And one of the big areas that we all have as not-for-profits that we didn't touch base on yet is fundraising. That's another big third-party software that all of us use, and is important to move those dollars and that data and a summary or even detail, depending on what you're looking for, from that donor software into Intacct, so that you can easily have that information in there. Plan for the future in periods of uncertainty. Again, as I said earlier, and we always say we're in uncertain times, but I think right now, given the inflation and our economic is a little iffy right now, I think that we need the time and the effort to give us the time to be more strategic, to do more forecasting and planning. And by integrating our softwares, it gives us that time to do it that we probably aren't doing now. Focus on strategy. Yeah, with these forecasting and being strategic, which we all need to do in our roles that are not routine tasks, but we need to be done by integrating our softwares. It gives us that ability to do so. And of course, it gives us a holistic view of your organization with integrations. It pulls everything into one place quickly, seamlessly, without much effort. A lot of times it's just pushing a button, and it's in your Intacct that allows you to run reports that most of the time are already pre-created, ready to go, and you're just pushing a button and running your report, and you're on your way. Sage Intacct for not-for-profits. I hope all of you are using Intacct. If not, I hope you do. But I think it's a great software. I've worked with quite a few not-for-profit softwares, both personally, implemented some, and have had the opportunity of helping clients transition from other not-for-profit softwares to Sage Intacct. And I will tell you that Sage Intacct is a great software. It's very robust. It have yet to have really found anything it can't do for a not-for-profit. But one of the major differences and attributes, I think, great things of Sage Intacct is the customizable dimensions. One of the things in a lot of your other not-for-profit softwares, they have an accounting string. And meaning you have a fund, a department account code. So you've got all these account numbers set up because you have to have them one for each piece, if you will, department set for each department, each fund, and things like that. With Sage Intacct, what's great is that string is broken up into what we call dimensions. And that is a great opportunity to mix, to create accounts. If you create a new department, all you need to do is create the department and you're all set to go, not create a whole new set of accounts. Outcome metrics. Sage Intacct has so much to offer for outcome metrics, both in viewable data and in reporting data. So it's a great opportunity to really, again, I use the term strategic forecasting quite often because I think it's very important in the CFO, Director of Finance's role. And of course, most not-for-profits deal in grant and fund allocation. It's whether they be endowments, foundations, they're allocating gain losses or endowment expenses, or grants. They're having to allocate administrative expenses or time, payroll time and things like that. Real-time reporting. You can always run a report. The minute you enter a transaction, you can go run a report, and that information is now part of the report. You don't have to wait for a process to happen. And forms and operational flows, the ability to create forms and create operational forms, i.e. a checklist, a month-end checklist you could easily create for your organization when you want to do your month-end process. So there's a lot of great attributes. And I think for today's conversation, what's great is the integrations. We integrate with Donor Perfect, which is your fundraising software, Fax, which is tuition management for schools, Canzo, which is your housing software that helps you manage and push into Sage Intacct data and information for housing. And there's many more hundreds of marketplace partners. And I will tell you that even though these may not be on the list in that, we have come up with ways to integrate other softwares that may not be as seamless as Donor Perfect Fax. I would also add ADP. ADP is a great payroll software that integrates very well with Intacct. And I know that is a pain point for all of us, if you will, is that some would say, gosh, awful payroll journal entry we have to do every payroll to get the payroll expenses into our general ledger. And ADP has a great integration with getting that data in seamlessly. This here is an example of a dashboard in Sage Intacct for we're calling this is a nonprofit board book, and I will tell you that speaking of this dashboard, I have worked with an organization that didn't want to send out board packets anymore. You know, they were having to mail 15 or so 20-page packets to their board members. And what we did is we created a dashboard and gave them access to just this specific piece of Intacct, and they were able to go online and review the data. And again, it was an opportunity to save time and effort, and this is created automatically by just pulling the data that's already in your accounting software. But this is here shows you expenses by initiative, liability, what their liability is, where your revenue's coming from, major expense categories, liabilities as a percent of assets, liquidity, expenses of personnel costs, estimated full cost, all information that is relevant to your board. And by no means is this the only way this can look. We can custom create things for you to meet your specific needs of your organization. And the forms and operational flows, we have website application request, application processing. We can process grant applications, and we can process awarded grants management. And it's a new feature in Sage, and it's an opportunity to power an end-to-end grant-making lifecycle from fundraising opportunities and application review to award decisions and notifications. So if you are an organization that deals heavily in grants, this is a great opportunity to manage those grants, both from the award side all the way through to the tracking of how they're used, the application piece, and things of that nature. And then Sage Intacct Fundraising powered by Donor Perfect. I'm very excited about this because, again, working with not-for-profits for many years, one of the biggest pain points, if you will, is getting the data in from your fundraising software into your general ledger. As you can imagine, I'm sure if you're using a software that's not automated, it's difficult to do and very time consuming. And what's great about this is that with our partnership with Donor Perfect, it's automated. The data pushes from Donor Perfect straight into your general ledger. And it also creates, for example, here, this fundraising financial insights within Sage Intacct that you can readily see how fundraising is doing. Because I'm sure that one of your most questions that gets asked by board members or others is how much does it cost to raise the dollar? this readily gives you that information by period or whatever you need to look for. That is my presentation. And any questions, any thoughts?
I don't see any questions in the Q&A quite yet, but definitely encourage you to ask any if you do have them. And for now, though, while you're thinking of those, let's turn it over to Jeff Griffin.
Well, thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Neil. And we're going to talk about payroll integration now. And call me biased, but I couldn't agree more that payroll integration is certainly a big piece that you all should be thinking about as a nonprofit. So, for having worked with nonprofits for as long as I have, it is always uplifting when I hear about a nonprofit whose mission benefited from investing in technology. Nikki introduced me before, but I've been with ADP for 17 years, focused on our technology. I've had numerous roles here at ADP, but today I come to you as a partner of Dean Dorton's, and the goal is to assist them with bringing you new and innovative ideas and to drive your mission forward. So with that said, let's talk about payroll for a second. So any resilient organization understands the importance of its employees and their success. They also understand those employees are also expensive and complex. So we chatted about this here just a moment ago, but it's clear Excel isn't the answer to solving this riddle. However, I am happy to share that the combination of Sage Intacct and ADP just might be the answer. This pairing definitely can do what Excel can't. So, as we, move forward here and, when you pair ADP Workforce Now with Sage Intacct, you get Sage Intacct Payroll powered by ADP. This results in deep connectivity in a few key areas in near or real time in the GL, in employee data, expense reimbursements, dimensions, as mentioned before by Neil, for timekeeping, and timesheet synchronization between applications. It also opens you up to functionality to help you attract, retain, and develop your employees who are clearly critical to your success. And it ensures you also remain fully compliant with state, federal, local legislation. When this is done right, you'll also be able to take advantage of system configurations that will help you control and even reduce your total cost of managing your employees. We see the application of Sage Intacct Payroll powered by ADP really accelerate our nonprofit clients' efficiency goals. So what I would say as you're thinking about investing in technology is you should only invest in technology that has your unique complexities as a nonprofit in mind. For example, we know how much time and effort it takes to deliver 100% accurate, and 100% is important, time and effort reports. ADP and Sage have collaborated to ensure there is an additional level of flexibility to ensure that 100% accuracy for time and effort reports by funding source, all with an easy to use interface, not just for you as a practitioner, but your employees, because they're going to have to report information. So, really is our mission to ensure your funding sources are never at risk, and we keep your data as attractive as possible to new funding sources. So we know spreadsheets aren't the answer. They can't automatically allocate work time to grants and funds. They can't show all your payroll and people data in one dashboard. They can't keep you up to date on tax laws and HR regulations. Can't detect errors before you process payroll. Can't really save you time. Just makes you maybe comfortable, right? The teddy bear analogy, but it can't save you time. And it can empower employees in a number of different ways, most notably self-service. But Sage Intacct Payroll, powered by ADP, absolutely can. So as we get ready to transition to Denise to take you through a demonstration of our technology, what I will share with you is we can't cover everything that Sage Intacct Payroll powered by ADP can do. So we're just going to focus on the areas that matter most to you, with the most nuance to you and those on the call here. And that's going to be in the areas of payroll, time and attendance, and reporting. However, if you see something on the screen that catches your attention and you want to learn more, we're definitely going to leave you with contact information at the end of this call. So we'd be happy to help you make sense of anything on the screen that you'd like to learn more about. So without further delay, I would like to turn it over to my partner in crime, Denise Ylito, to walk you through a demonstration of the technology.
All right, thanks, Jeff. And thanks, Neil. You guys did a great introduction of exactly what this partnership really can offer all of you today when it comes to nonprofits, and really being able to, think towards the future of having one solution that allows you to not only do what you need to today to get rid of that teddy bear, but also into the future as well as you continue to grow and expand your nonprofits. So, as Jeff mentioned, I really want to focus today on payroll, some time parts, as well as what you can get from a reports and analytics perspective out of this Sage Intacct Payroll powered by ADP partnership. So from a time perspective, there's lots of ways that your employees will be able to capture their time. We're able to do it from a mobile device, making it easy for the ones that are on the go. They can do it from a desktop. They can do it from kiosks or iPads. Again, making it very versatile, very easy for them to be able to provide you with the information that you need in order to accurately make sure that you are accounting for their time to the right funding sources. So just a high level real quick here, what does that look like for an employee? So you saw 2 clicks. Now the employee can come in and allocate their time exactly where needed. I'm showing 2 different locations here. However, we can have up to 13 different fields here. So if you wanted location, department, project, task, we certainly can accommodate that for you and be able to make sure that you are getting as accurate of data as you can down to the level that you need, as well as your funding partners need on their end as well. In addition to being able to process and capture that time in the different time reporting services, the other area is, sometimes they want to do it from a desktop or maybe, they do a punch and they realize, hey, that's not where I meant to allocate my time to. We also are able to accommodate them to go in and actually update that time in their individual time cards or just use this as their way of reporting that time. Again, here's another viewpoint where, if they do punch in and out, we can capture their hours, the department where they're working from, their job, their project for your different grants. We can even help out with different, union costs and anything else that you might have going on in your day-to-day. This not only works for your hourly employees, but this also works for your salaried employees. So Mr. Tony Albright that I'm showing you right now is actually a salaried employee. The great thing is that even though he is tracking his hours to different projects, this will not affect his overall salary. He will still get paid out his normal salary. This is just a way for you to get that reporting to be able to allocate his time to the appropriate grants and funds. So what does that look like then on the next side of that? How do we get this data into payroll for you? Well, again, it's all one system. And then being able to integrate that back into Sage Intacct. Again, getting rid of that teddy bear, making things much simpler for you and more efficient. Here is our payroll. You can have multiple ones here. Maybe you have a biweekly and a weekly, or you have salary and hourly that you want separate. You easily can go in and manage your payroll. Now, Jeff mentioned being able to detect errors and things before you process payroll. Here's another area where you're able to do that. If there's any missing or invalid data, it's going to show here under this things to do for you. If there's anything that needs an additional look, maybe a manager does a retroactive on somebody's salary because they received an increase and forgot to enter it. It'll actually advise you of that retro pay, take you to the exact place in Sage Intacct Payroll where you need to go to process that and make those updates for payroll. Same thing for things that might need approval, PTO requests that haven't been accounted for, time and attendance. If an employee does miss a punch or they miss information or an approval by a supervisor for OT, it's going to show you that here and you can send it back to the manager to take care of it. So again, detecting those errors before you process payroll. Once your things to do looks excellent, you can move into your worksheets. So I mentioned being able to allocate your hours for those salaried employees. One of the special things that we have with Sage Intacct Payroll is just that, dynamic salary allocations for those employees that are salaried. You go ahead, you record that information, and you're able to bring in those allocated time and earnings information for those salaried employees without affecting their actual pay for payroll, but allowing you to have the information that you need for tracking purposes and reporting. Here is that timesheet that you'll bring in for those salaried employees. You'll be able to see Mr. Albright outlined here and those grants that he was allocating his time to. So again, being able to double check that information. If you have any questions about somebody's pay profile while you're in pay, very easy to pivot to that employee's pay profile by clicking on their file number here and then easily pivoting back to this worksheet and to your payroll. Once everything looks good here, you're able to then calculate your payroll. The great thing is before you process all of this, you're going to be able to double check everything. Do your variances. Again, make sure that everything looks right from a payroll register to your payroll details. Now, if that's not enough with these reports here, of course, we have lots more when it comes to reporting. But before we get into that, how are we going to go ahead and now that payroll has been processed, get that information into Sage Intacct for you? Very easy. I'm going to show you the physical process that actually happens for that connection. However, the great thing is we can automate this for you. So that way, once you are finished with processing payroll, this general ledger will automatically flow to Sage Intacct for you every night. So here, you'll have your file name, you'll have your mapping, and then you'll be able to come down here and select that payroll that you are indeed looking to transfer over into Sage Intacct. Once you hit that payroll to go ahead and send it over, you'll be able to then transmit that data. Once you transmit that data, there we go. Well, once you transmit that data, you'll be able to then easily move into Sage Intacct in order to review the information just like you would today. There we go. Apologize for a little bit of a slowness here on this update. Again, this is something that I'm walking through the steps as far as actually transmitting this file over into Sage Intacct. However, this is something we can completely automate for you, so that way you're not doing this. While I'm walking through these steps, just as a visual of what it would look like on the Sage side, which I'm sure you are, very used to if you are using Sage Intacct today. Some of the other things that happen on the back end for you on a daily basis are things like your employee data syncs throughout the day. Any information that you update regarding your employees in Sage Intacct Payroll, they will automatically sync over into Sage Intacct. They automatically go throughout the day, but they also are transmitted based on certain events. If something happens as far as, a salary adjustment, that information will auto sync. That event will kick that off for you. So here again is that journal entry. Of course, Everybody's will look a little bit different for you. That's part of the implementation and making sure that everything is seamless from one system to the next. Jeff also mentioned being able to move that time data. We can definitely accommodate that and get that time data moved over for you into Sage Intacct as well. So you're easily able to come in here and through our integrations dashboard, accomplish many different tasks, not just the general ledger, not just employee data. So you'll have easy access to import your expense reimbursements from Sage Intacct in order to pay out on your payroll. Send time cards. That's an outbound time sync over into Sage Intacct. Sync your dimensions. Now, this is done every 2 hours on its own, but in the event that you do update a dimension and you want to make sure that that's synced right away, you can go ahead and push this and it will automatically do that dimension sync for you. Again, your employee data will also automatically sync, but if you need to, you can do a push. And then in that journal entry, you can either select to have it where you are doing the transmission, or again, making things even simpler and giving you back those couple of minutes in your day, we can go ahead and automate that as well. Down here, you'll be able to see everything that indeed did sync and be able to see when it was done and the status that it did indeed complete. So that's just a high-level overview of a couple of those main features within the Sage Intacct payroll technology and how that's going to be able to work with you in your Sage Intacct. Now, in addition to that, of course, I did mention we have reporting. So within our reports, we have lots of standard reports for you at your fingertips. Things like your pay data. So here within our sample report section, you're able to go into your pay data and go ahead and grab things such as, your pay data by temporary department or cost number. A couple of clicks, you're able to easily go ahead and run that report and get that output here. These can even be scheduled to run for you. In addition to that, of course, we offer custom reporting in here. So you can easily go in. We have a lovely little field grabber. So as you are getting used to the Sage Intacct payroll and how this is going to function for you, the field grabber is a great way to create those custom reports by simply grabbing the different data points that you want. It'll create that listing for you on the right-hand side of that report that you are trying to create. This works for pretty much anywhere within the Sage Intacct payroll and any data field that you're able to go ahead and add in. If there's subcategories, it'll highlight those subcategories that you can also grab and then create the report. The next step is just formatting it and running it. So again, another great way to get that reporting. And lastly, those lovely analytics. So not only will you be able to get the analytics on the Sage Intacct side of the house, once that journal entry information has been moved over, your dimensions and all of that, you also can get great reporting and analytics here in Sage Intacct payroll as well for additional things. You're able to do it for multiple different metrics, depending on the modules. Again, thinking of things now, but also in the future. So as you continue to grow and expand with us, you'll be able to do things, everything from your payroll and time that we kind of went over today at a high level, but also things like recruitment and benefits, giving you that full circle. Also, we offer in here benchmarking as well, so you can get different data points for that right here. And then we can also do mashup. So bringing in that budgeting data to overlap with your payroll to give you that full picture all in one place. And if you're still getting used to it, dashboards. Dashboards are a great way to get used to the information that you are able to get from all of your earnings, your overtime costs, and being able to make sure that you're definitely honing all of that in to make the most out of those funds that you are getting. I hope you found that overview helpful today, and I enjoyed walking you through the power of Sage Intacct Payroll, powered by ADP, and how we can help you let go of that teddy bear. Right. Thank you very much, and back to you, Nikki.
Thanks so much, Denise. And a big thank you to all of our presenters today. That's some excellent information, and I hope that you all got some good thought starters on, how technology might be able to help you get a full picture of your organization's financial landscape and really save you time on routine tasks, chasing down spreadsheets, chasing down info that you need in order to drive your mission, and instead take that, time and effort and pour that into what it is that you're actually doing. Again, if you have any follow-up questions or want to have a more in-depth conversation about technology for your nonprofit, we will be sending out a follow-up email within about a week that includes the recording of this session, the slides, and also contact information for our software services director, Philip Massey. He will be absolutely delighted to speak with you and answer any questions at all that you have. Again, thank you for attending, and we hope that you have a great rest of your day.